So, well, human perfection, I mean, we can guess what it is. It's like absence of malevolence, absence of pride, absence of jealousy, absence of obsession, absence of the kind of craving and attachment that has to do with grasping. So normally, I don't know how people consider that as defect or not. If you look in terms of their consequences, in terms of suffering and torment and happiness, there seems to be afflictive mental state. I mean, who is happy with being nagged by jealousy? Who is happy when the intense craving occurs? Who is happy when taken by arrogance or mental confusion? I mean, I don't think anyone can describe that as a state of well-being or mental health. And simply we think it's normal that everyone has this kind of mixture of good and bad and whatever. But normal means what? Natural means what? I mean, sickness is something so-called natural. Doesn't mean that we are not going to see a doctor and take medicine. So maybe for most of us, those mental poisons are natural in the sense that we have them in our mind. There's no question we have them. We have them. But they can be cured. So perfection is curing from those. And then when you see someone who doesn't display any arrogance, any jealousy, any grasping and craving, any sort of malevolence, then it's quite striking and inspiring and beautiful, and that has to be seen not just as a facade, but over the years. If you never noticed any indication of that, and it's quite easy to pick up those indications in ordinary life. So if day after day there's never any indication of someone being jealous or arrogant or something, then every day that passes by is corroborating your sort of perception of that person as representing human perfection. So if they don't, then I think they are not what we call, enlightened or teachers or someone who has gone to the culminating point of the path. So that's just a matter of experience. So now in the rest of the world, there are very good people and more annoying people in all kinds of walks of life, whether it's artists, scientists, gardeners, road builders, or anybody, any kind of activity. There's no relation necessarily to human qualities. I mean, of course, some types of activity require sharp intelligence, good memory, attention, other types of quality, but human values such as those, tolerance, openness, strength of mind, inner freedom, altruism, compassion, loving kindness, which part of this human perfection which I was talking about, there's no correlation with whether you are a scientist or not a scientist, whether you're a gardener or not a gardener. I mean, there are wonderful gardeners and probably irritable gardeners. There are wonderful human beings in scientists. There are some very arrogant ones from time to time. So, I mean, there's no necessary correlation with their skill and being a very good human being, because this is other kinds of skills. Now, being a human being is a skill. A good human being is a skill that needs to develop for itself, by itself, like compassion or genuine well-being. This needs to be developed as a skill. And if you don't develop it, you have no reason that it just comes like that. Maybe you have a more propensity towards it. Some people are naturally generous, kind, or altruistic. But that's just a starting point, like a good potential they have that can be cultivated, but also wither. If you put a naturally nice person in a situation, in a social context where violence is all over the place, they might be taken by this sort of trend and become violent, even they had a kind of good predisposition. So unless you totally uproot like hatred and malevolence from your mind, then you're still vulnerable to outer circumstances. So that's why the great teachers who show this perfection, they are incredibly inspiring, because whatever the circumstances might be, and day after day, they display this kind of perfection.